Welcome out to Lowell Park, everybody, and the Gatemen Postgame Show. The Cotuit Kettleers beat the Wareham Gatemen by a final score of 4-0. Jacob Tobey alongside Sam Corman and Connor Federico. The first thing we want to talk about here on the postgame show, Noah Zavalis comes out of the game due to an injury.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Don Sneddon, apparently he's just fine. Just a bit of a hamstring pull. You know, in the early going of a game, Zavalis had just given up a solo shot. He's only given up 2 runs this entire summer. They've both been against the Cotuit Kettleers. So Zavalis goes an inning and a third. It was a good performance by him all in all. He only gave up that 1 run to Thomas Dillard, and boy, he hit that ball a long way, guessing right on a 1-2 count, and he took an off-speed pitch and sent it with a lot of speed over the right field fence. I mean, Zavalis, he should be just fine. He should be willing and able to pitch for the Gatemen for the rest of the summer moving forward. You just want to be a bit careful, but he's a grinder. He's a guy that maybe even if he is feeling a little bit down, still wants to be a part of this Gatemen team this summer. And, you know, that's just one of the best things you can say about any person, period, that he's willing to fight for his team. He's willing to continue to compete.
Gatemen, they need starters right now. Noah Zavalis is one of those guys after losing Griffin Roberts. Today, he goes home. Sam Corman, talk about the pitching staff after Noah Zavalis today.
Well, it was solid. I really thought that, Jordan Britton had that 1 rough inning, but he recovered nicely in the next inning, and you like to see that after a guy. It was a tough situation. He comes out of the bullpen. He has to throw his bullpen outing on the mound before in front of all these fans at Lowell Park, and then pitches that 3rd inning, basically out of nowhere. He had no idea that was going to happen, and that's a tough situation he put into, and it was a tough inning for him, but he recovered nicely in the 4th, and then really good stuff from Frank German today. A really solid, promising outing from him. We hadn't seen much of him in long-term stuff yet this year. It's mostly been an inning at a time. Today we saw him basically in the same situation, and he was once again really good for the Gatemen. Another good outing a good outing for Will Neely. You like to see that. He's been struggling a little bit this season, but the fastball looked really good today. 93 coming out of the arm of Will Neely, and the bullpen, it's getting thinner because you might eventually have to start converting some of these bullpen guys into starters with the way that the pitching staff's going, but you still need solid outings out of the bullpen, and it was definitely there today. It definitely kept this game within reach. It was just the hitting that couldn't get it done.
Talk about this staff needing pitchers. Even Robbie Metz was throwing a bullpen session out there today. Obviously, he pitched a couple times last year for the Wareham Gatemen. Our Claudia Chakamian caught up with head coach Don Sneddon about this tough 4-0 loss.
Thank you, guys. I'm here with Gatemen head coach Don Sneddon. Coach, first of all, what can you give us about Noah Zavalis? He left us in the 2nd inning. Any updates on him?
No. He just got a hamstring. It doesn't look like it's real bad, but anything's bad at this time with such a short season. So we'll have him evaluated tomorrow. It'll be day by day.
How impressed were you with German coming in and all your pitching staff? Wasn't a great night, but they were able to come in after your starter not being able to go the distance.
Yeah, they stepped up. That's one thing. If you look on the positive side, when you start losing your starting pitching, your relief have to did that. And these guys were sitting around in this bullpen for a long time, and they've come in and they gave us some good innings there. We just need to get a clutch hit and didn't get it.
And the past few nights, defense has been the problem, scoring those errors. No errors committed by you guys tonight. So is that a good thing that seems to be turning around a little bit?
Well, that was fine. With that, but you can't have one guy. Quan, I think, got 3 out of 4 hits, and the other was a squibbler. So you just you can't win too many games with that. And they manufactured. They did 2 safety squeezes and got a couple runs, and the difference in the ball game.
So what do you want to see tomorrow? Fresh new start once again. So you hoping maybe the hits can finally start to come alive?
Yeah, well, when you aren't playing well, calls don't go for you. There was a call Topa there, looked like it was ball 4, and even the umpire even apologized later on and said it was. That would have been a run, and who knows what would happen with that. But when things aren't going well, those things, you don't get those calls, and we didn't get that. And he's also saved first, by the way, and he didn't get that either. So, but that happens, and that's the way the game of baseball works.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Claudia. The Gatemen now losers of 4 straight after winning 5 in a row just a couple days ago. The offense today was just a complete mess.
Well, that's the difference. In the Gatemen's 5-game winning streak, the offense averaged 5.2 runs per game. Today, 0. And for the past couple of days, the Gatemen haven't gotten more than 4 runs. So it's really been a struggle for this offense lately. The timely hitting has gotten away from them. It came back a bit against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks yesterday, but has since phased out. I mean, you can't say enough about Cotuit's pitchers today. Even though they struggled with command at times, they got the Gatemen to swing outside of the strike zone. Really high IQ pitchers here working with Mike Roberts and the staff at Cotuit. They'll switch your eye level, they'll switch your speeds. They're really great pitchers, and that's why I think this Cotuit team is one of the best in the West. And, you know, the Gatemen, they now have some ground to make up in the division.
Gatemen dropped this one to a Western Division foe. Not much more to talk about this game in particular. We move on to tomorrow.
I do want to respectfully disagree with Connor really quick.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I just didn't think Jason Billis had a really good outing today, and I really think that the Gatemen lineup threw away an opportunity to hit off. He walked 6 batters, and when that happens, I mean, that means that something's wrong with his command. The Gatemen just couldn't put timely hits together, even though there were plenty of runners on base. Stephen Kwan had 3 hits today, but all in leadoff situations, and the Gatemen never put him around. They had 1 hit outside of Stephen Kwan, but Jason Billis, I didn't think he was that good today, and I really thought that the Gatemen missed a huge opportunity to jump out ahead early in the game on a pitcher that looked really out of sync.
Well, you know what, Sam? You're right.
Is that all you have to say about
Yeah.
All right, this is First Take now, apparently. But we do move to tomorrow. The Brewster Whitecaps are in town in Wareham. And now you drop this one in a Western Division foe. That's tough on the standings, but now you play your last game versus the Eastern Division Brewster Whitecaps.
Yeah, I mean, an opportunity against Brewster. Brewster's a team that the Gatemen have won 2 games against this year, and they've really enjoyed both games offensively or at least the last game offensively. They scored 10 runs out at Stony Brook Field. Obviously, going to be a little bit tougher to hit balls over the fences at Spillane, but the Gatemen, they really need a win against Brewster tomorrow because they're on a 4-game losing streak. The West Division is slowly just kind of moving away from Wareham up the division. Cotuit obviously with the win today. Bourne currently in battle in a tie ball game. Last I checked, Falmouth was up on Hyannis, so they're looking to move away from the Gatemen, and the Gatemen really want to make sure that they at least lock up that playoff position. But Brewster's a team. They've been playing pretty well after a tough stretch. They beat Cotuit in a shutout yesterday, about 9 or 10 to nothing. I forget the exact score, but Brewster, that win big for them. And a team that's playing well coming back to Spillane. The Gatemen really need a win tomorrow, especially with a weekend series against the Orleans Firebirds in the distance. They're nasty this year, so you can't. You don't want to go into that on a 6-game losing streak with losses to Brewster and Falmouth. It's very important that the Gatemen win at least one, if not both, of these next 2 games.
Anything else to add, sir?
Montgomery on the hill tomorrow for the Wareham Gatemen. If there's a guy who can break a losing streak, that's the person you're going to turn to. He's been fantastic. Hoping he continues that in the future.
That'll do it for us here on the Gatemen Postgame Show. For Connor Federico, Sam Corman, I'm Jacob Tobey. The Wareham Gatemen lose to the Cotuit Kettleers tonight by a final score of 4-0.